What's going on, fellas? We back at the sit down, and today we're gonna discuss the fact that modern women are not wives. I know this is not breaking news to anyone at this point. Remember, they don't cook, they don't clean, but they still got that ring. A lot of these women are selfish, and they're only worried about their own prospering future as an individual, independent woman. But when the roles were swapped, men took their money and took care of women and made sure that the family was taken care of. Today, women will choose their job and their boss over their own man. You know, there was a time where the man came before her job. If he said, let's switch jobs, she switched jobs. And she didn't work for herself. Her money wasn't her money. The money she made was for the household, and she brought it back. Nowadays, fellas, you can barely get a woman to buy you a meal, but she wants everything from you. It is very clear that if you say the word submission, have you seen their faces turn up? Have you seen the way that they look at you? As if that's an insult, when really, submission and cooperation is a strength of women. But that's gone now. They no longer see that as a strength. Strength now is hot girl summer, turning up with their homegirls, keeping secrets and girl codes with each other behind their men's backs, all the while going back and acting like they did nothing and making men look like fools in front of other men who know. At this point in time, looking and scouting for a girlfriend or wife wouldn't be a smart choice right now. I would advise you not to even think about that right now. Focus on yourself. Get your money right. Trust me, women will always be there. Every year, there's a new beautiful woman graduating that's gonna replace the bad bitch of today. That's one thing that I know women don't pay attention to. Beauty fades, fellas. And there's always the next one right behind. Why would you, as a man, take one of these independent women, career-driven women who are out of their prime, and try to turn any of them into wives? Do you have any idea the things she's done? Do you have any idea of the men she's messed with? The hood dudes, the random men on vacation, the secrets her and her friends hold. How could you, as a man, invest in that? You can't, fellas. There is no investment there. Unicorns are very rare, and if you find one, shout out to you. But for the rest of us out here, we see how they're acting, and we see what they want. And it's not the thinking man, the man with his shit together, which people like to say. It's the degenerate male. It's the man who doesn't know what his future is going to be. A lot of times it's the bad boy. Keep that in mind when you get your paper right. Don't forget that. And remember that when one of those hot girl summer chicks come back around because you're looking mighty good now, with your new car and your new place, and she's made a bunch of terrible decisions in her life that's landed her in debt or with children with no father. You walk past and you hold your head high because you made the right choices and she messed up by skipping you. Her friends were more important. Her mother's opinion was more important. What she thought was more important than sitting down and listening to you. They are not wives, they're concubines at this point. Just something that can waste your time. Just something to hang with on a Saturday really quick. Nothing to fully invest in. Keep that in mind the next time you meet a bad bitch.
Yeah. Modern women aren't wives. Why? That is the question. You know, gentlemen, you have to get far more stringent and locked in on what you're looking at and how and why it's happening and taking place. So let's unpack this. Why are modern women not wives? It's simply because of their foundation, how they have been bred, put together, and socialized. They've all been, dare I say, seeded with feminism software. And that doesn't mean the woman actually herself has to be a feminist activist or so-called support feminism in totality. The problem in the reality is the ideas and the foundation of how she thinks the seeds have been planted. So she views life through the lens of these particular ideas that are rooted in feminism narratives. The fact that women think and believe or should that they can do everything that a man does. So inherently, they're taught to believe and accept ideas that really only benefit them. So what does this do to the mindset of said woman? Well, they falsely believe that they are the ones who only affect the outcomes in their life through their independence, so-called. And the other issue with that is that there's nothing wrong with being independent, but all adults, to some degree, have to be independent. It's a requirement for you to survive in life, is to at least be a functional adult. But they associate that with some level of freedom. And so while they love having the freedom to make the choices for themselves, they equally do not want to be accountable or responsible for the cause and effect of said choices. So even though they're independent, they rarely take a look and examination of the quality of their own decisions that creates the outcomes in their own lives. But this is what they are taught to value. It's been handed down to them at this point from their generational independent woman mother and independent woman grandmother. So now this has been ingrained in them, and to keep it real, the mother that so-called taught them to be independent isn't even that great of an independent woman herself. Some of these mothers are barely making it and barely surviving, and taught this daughter of hers to be an inefficient, independent woman. So she's not even raised properly on how to function with a person, another partner, a mate, because you're practicing being independent. You're practicing and you're constantly shaping your mindset to do everything alone and for your own selfish reasons and for your own outcomes. And that changes when you have to become a partner. That changes. You know, you can't be in a sport like tennis and have the mentality where everything you're doing is 100% focused on the decisions you make on the court and your overhand and backhand balls and where that places against your opponent, and think that that mentality is conducive to basketball. The outcome of your decisions is not about solely you. You have teammates, and your choices and decisions affect everybody around you. And it takes everybody to win. That analogy right there explains the majority mindset of the current modern woman. She is selfish and one-sided, lacking perspective, and lacking empathy and lacking the ability to see things from the other person's perspective. How do you win? How does somebody understand the core functions of being a team when the person is solely focused on themselves? How does that make for a good wife if every decision they make is about themselves and compromises your marriage, compromises your team in the game, and where you're trying to take your union only for you to have to pick up the slack? Modern women have been socialized improperly, and they don't know it because a lot of them, it's not their fault. The very people they looked up to the most of these women who looked up to their superheroes, which was their mother, this is what she taught them. She taught them wrong, and now this is a software that's in a human being who is functioning off that operating system. So they look at men as the enemy, or they look at things to not understand that even if I am independent, this person who's my teammate has a different strength and can add something to what I lack. But you can't tell them that. They think they're perfect. They can't be told anything. And I want you to look up something, guys. We're going to do this right here. I want you to look up locus of control. I want you to look up the locus of control and understand that women tend to primarily operate on the external locus of control, which inherently means that they seem to think that despite choices they make or whatever, the outcomes always have something to do externally. Like something's being done to me. Yeah, we broke up and this sucks that I'm losing my man, but he's breaking up with me because of something else, not because of the fact that, hey, I made a poor decision that potentially compromised my relationship and there's cause and effect and consequences for my decision. This goes into the very fabric of why, statistically now, you have an exceptionally high amount of single mothers. Men are dating less. Men are we're still getting divorced at an astronomical rate. Not on our behalf, because It's about 70 to 80% divorce rate initiated by women, but men are at an all-time statistical high since the advent of America in not getting married. Why though? Because as you can see, most men are catching on and waking up to the fact that modern women are not wives. Discover what a true wife is and understand that her femininity, her love, her respect, her ability to reciprocate, her ability to be fair and self-analyze herself in situations is pertinent and key to the health of your relationship. When you find a woman who knows that as strong as she is and as powerful as she is, she can submit that power to you and allow you to lead as her man, because that's the true power. The power is in the fact that as powerful as you women are, and as powerful as they are, the power is in your submission to allow the leader to lead still, even if you're capable of doing it yourself. So until you find the qualities in a woman that shows you that she has the fabric to truly invest in building that type of foundation and love and union for who and what you are, she's just a modern woman. And she's not worth your commitment, and damn sure ain't worth a $10,000 ring from De Beers. This is your boy VT. I'm wrapping it up. I'm out of here. It's the sit down. If you're standing up, sit down.